What's going on, YouTube? My name is Matt Faircloth. My company is called the Derosa Group, and we're a real estate company dedicated to transforming lives through real estate. Third rail, guys, this is a big one. Is that legal? First of all, let me clarify one thing. If it's a rental property for them and they want to do a 1031, that's their business. If you're buying this property that's a rental from your son-in-law in Denver, right, you need to also rent that property out. You can't live in it either. This is how this program here, Mentorship Monday, works. People email their questions to helpme@derosagroup.com. That is helpme@derosagroup.com. And I'll answer your question right here on this YouTube channel for you and everybody else to learn from. This question comes from Warren. Thank you, Warren, for your question to Mentorship Monday. Hey guys, do you like what we do here on this YouTube channel? Make sure you like this video, smash the subscribe button, and leave us a comment down below. Third rail, guys, this is a big one. 1031s, guys. There's a lot of stuff out there on 1031s, and we've shot a lot of videos on 1031s. If you guys are looking to learn about 1031 exchanges, just search across our channel for 1031 exchange videos because we've got a few. This one is specifically about 1031ing to a family member. Hey guys, do you want to go next level and pick our brain a little bit? Go to derosagroup.com/insiders to hear more about our insiders community, where you can pick our brains and talk to my team directly and hear all about all the cool stuff we're up to as a company. Now back to the video. My son-in-law is buying a new house and renting his home in Denver. His son-in-law wants to buy a new property in Denver and wants to rent his house out. I have a condo in California that I'm renting and I want to sell it and buy the rent. Is that legal? First of all, let me clarify one thing to our friend Warren that wrote this email in. The property you're buying, your son-in-law could be a resident in, right? It could be their home. But if it's your home in California that you're selling, the 1031s operate in, they call it legs, right? The first leg is this property you're selling. You take the money, put it with the 1031 exchange custodian. And then when you buy the second property you're going to be buying, that's called the second leg. The first leg cannot be a property you're living in. The reason is you don't need a 1031 in that case. Currently in the US, you can keep $250,000 if you're single of sales proceeds and $500,000 if you're married, I think. Okay, talk to a CPA. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not giving tax advice. I'm just sitting chat, talking real estate shop with you folks, right? Talk to your tax advisor about this. But I believe you can keep a big chunk of the sale of a property if it is your home, your primary residence. So, Warren, if this is your primary residence we're talking about here, we don't need to be talking about 1031 exchanges. Just take as much as you can through the home sale exemption that you get already, and just bite the bullet and pay the man on the other money that you got that's above and that maybe is above and beyond that. Don't be worried about 1031s, okay? If this property in California, if the leg one is a rental property and you're using it for rental intent and you can show on your tax returns that it was a rental property you were receiving rental income on, that's leg one. And leg two is the purchase, I think, of this condo. It doesn't matter that your son-in-law is living there unless and this all goes back to whether or not your son-in-law is willing to pay taxes on that as well. If it's a rental property for them, and they want to do a 1031, that's their business. I've seen this person do a 1031 exchange, coming in and doing a first leg, second leg, and then this person doing a 1031. Those two things can happen, and the two don't affect each other. Two separate transactions. This leg is buying, selling, and doing proceeds on this leg, and then this person then launches off and does their own 1031. They don't affect each other. So if you're buying this property that's a rental from your son-in-law in Denver, right, you need to also rent that property out. You can't live in it either. The property in California needs to be a rental. That's leg one. And the one in Denver needs to be a rental, leg two. Now, to make sure that things are kosher and above board here, and to make sure you're not either overpaying or underpaying for this property, make sure son-in-law is not hooking you up and giving you a off-market price on the property, or to make sure that you're not overpaying for the property. Not that you would do that, overpaying to throw a few more dollars at your son-in-law or whatever. If you're not doing either of those things, just to cover yourself and to prevent a tax audit, because 1031s are extremely scrutinized by the IRS, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of money moving around, right? IRS want to make sure you're playing fair. So I would get an appraisal on the Denver property and California property too. I mean, get an appraisal on that as well. And whoever's buying it should, you know, get there and make sure it's a nice, clean arm's length transaction. And then the property in Denver needs to also be an arm's length transaction. So there's no law that I know of that says you can't do a 1031 with a family member as the buyer or seller of a property, as long as it's an arm's length transaction. So as long as the prices are fair and you're not, buying for $10 million or buying for $1, one of the two. As long as you're buying for market rate prices and it's an arm length transaction, that's fine. As long as, and I would make sure it's clean, that your son-in-law is not like getting ownership back in the property through a reverse, putting them on the LLC or something like that, or doing anything funky. Just make it nice and clean, arm's length transaction. I see nothing wrong with it. Again, I'm not an attorney either, so I'm not giving legal advice here. So I have to keep doing disclaimers, but just, people are funny in this day and age. So yeah, Warren, I think it's possible, interesting, curious to hear how it goes, but that is legal as far as I know for something like that. So I hope that helps. 1031 is a huge conversation. Make sure you guys protect yourself and get a really good, as large as you can find 1031 exchange custodian and ask them about this. And just for good measure, I'm not a 1031 exchange custodian either. I'm just a real estate investor that's done my share of 1031s, and that's how I know about this kind of stuff. So, but Warren, great question. I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Hope that was helpful for you too, and have a great and profitable week.